Hi guys, how are things? Pilates today, so we'll get started in about 2 or 3 minutes. Those of us who are logged in, let us know who's hanging around for the class. Let us know who's doing it. Say hello in the comment section there. You'll get another shout out. So guys, today Pilates, we've got about 35 to 40 minutes of work. Again, suitable for all levels. So if you haven't done it before, at the start of the class, I'm going to talk through the components of it. Really just we'll talk about pelvic floor, and we'll start with our activation of our pelvic floor, and it will take a lot of practice. So if it's your first time doing it and you feel like you're not getting it, don't worry about it. It's something that takes a bit of practice, but just try and listen to my cues as best you can. Some of them might help you, and we'll be able to get through the class. And you'll hear me constantly talking about pelvic floor and trying to have that activated as we move through the class. So we'll off in a minute's time. We'll start with our pelvic floor activation work. We'll then move into a little bit of a warm up, and from the warm up, then get straight into our work that we have planned for today. So again, we're just a minute away there, guys. We'll start in the next minute's time. In terms of mat, if you have one handy, you can use it. I just have one crossed over, 2 mats crossed over here, just so I will do demos from side view and front view, just so you can get an idea of what we're looking for in terms of our technique. So just have a bit of water at the ready if you need it to, and a towel, and a mat. The most important thing, really, if you don't have a mat, just make sure that if you whatever surface you're working on, that it's comfortable. So if you're on a carpet, it might be ideal, or if you're on a wooden floor, you might need to put down a towel or something. Just something that will make sure that you're comfortable throughout the moves. Okay, so we'll get set up here, guys, and we'll kick off into it. So again, as I said, we'll start with our pelvic floor activation. If you have done Pilates before and you use a different technique, or you're just comfortable activating yourself, you don't have to follow this technique. Again, it's just something that I use that I find beneficial, especially found it beneficial when I started off doing it first. So what we'll do is, guys, we'll just set our posture right first. So just correcting that standing posture from where we are, bringing our feet to about hip width apart. From here, I want you just to root the feet down into the ground, pulling the toes towards the heels, gently rising up the arches of the feet off the mat. Standing nice and tall on our mat. And from here, we're just going to check our alignment. So placing hand opened up, placing our thumb in against the bottom of our sternum, palm facing the floor. Opposite hand, palm facing the floor as well, and thumb in against pubic bone. So both palms facing the floor, opened up. And we're just going to use these palms as a guide now to our alignment to see how well we're aligned. So again, if we find that we're tilted too much forward or back, we'll find that the hands don't stack on top of each other. So all I want you to do is, by moving yourself from your hips or dropping your rib cage down, just get ourselves set up so that your top hand is stacked directly above your bottom hand. And when you find that neutral position, I want you to hold that strong position, taking the hands away from the body. And we're going to begin into our pelvic floor activation here. And again, a technique that we use here. So we're going to take our right index finger and finding the bony part, finding our pubic bone. With our left index finger, finding the bony part again of our tailbone. So we found 2 points of contact, which we're going to use. And what I want you to do is focus in, and in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine the space between those 2 points. And with a gentle internal squeeze, we're going to imagine every time we take an exhale that we're drawing those 2 points of contact slowly or gently closer together. As you inhale, hold that connection strong. And as you exhale again, drawing the points together with a gentle squeeze, just reestablish that connection through the pelvic floor. Deep breath in, hold the connection through the inhale, deep breath out, gently increase the connection through the exhale. Take another deep breath in, hold the connection strong, and on the next out breath, I want you to imagine being lifted up from the ground, pull ourselves up towards the roof. Feel yourself be connected up through the midsection of the body, up through the rib cage. Take a deep breath in, hold that connection strong. Exhale, once more, draw together, draw up from the bottom. Feel yourself being pulled up towards the roof. Feel yourself being more supported in our standing position. Continue to breathe as normal. Again, every time you take an inhale, hold the connection strong. And every time you exhale, think about gently increasing or re-establishing or coming back to that connection again. Again, throughout, glutes are staying nice and quiet. It's an internal squeeze. Again, feeling more supported in our standing position. Good, and again, we'll try and cue that back in, guys, throughout the class. So where you are, bring yourself to the back of your mat. Feet that shoulder width apart again. I just want you to allow yourself to hang down towards the feet. Let the body hang towards the feet. Switching off that upper body. Keeping the legs as straight as you can. From there, taking 3 steps out the floor, bringing ourselves into our high plank position. 1, 2, and 3. Hands positioned directly below the shoulders. Feet and hands are shoulder width apart. Think about that connection once more through that pelvic floor, that gentle squeeze. Pull your belly button up towards the spine. From there, gently bend the elbows, lower yourself to the ground. Point the toes back behind you. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, push the hands into the floor. Through the exhale, allow the upper body to lift off the mat, keeping the hips on the mat. Hold for a breath. Deep breath in, relax the chest back onto the mat. From there, turning the toes up into the mat and exhale out, sitting back onto the heels, sitting bones back toward the heels. Allow the head and chest to fall between the arms. From there, take a deep breath in. Lift the bum up off the heels, lift the knees up off the mat. Once more, think pelvic floor strong, holding that strong position. From there, through the next exhale, sit the hips up into the air, push the heels back into the ground. And again, allow that head and chest to fall between the arms, looking down towards the feet. Lovely. From there, back to high plank position once more. And from there, taking 2 steps in through the middle part of the body and allow the body to hang once more towards the floor. From there, bring your hands onto the backs of our legs, roll your chin up into your belt buckle. And from there, gently peel yourself up into a standing position. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Excellent. From there, guys, we're going to bring ourselves to the right-hand side of our mat. Okay, so from there, we're going to bring our foot off the mat. Opposite foot, or left foot, in this instance, is on the mat. We're just going to start with a few gentle leg swings, keeping our kick forward and back. Keep the toe pointing in towards the camera. So toe point towards me on the kick through. If you need to make this a little bit easier, go with a lower kick. Hold that balance. So keep rooted down through the left foot. If you need to make it easier on your balance, you can bring that toe to the back and do a single leg kick at a time. And if you're comfortable, bring it into a little flow in our kick. From there, we're going to go into an attitude kick. So we're just going to gently turn that outside leg, that right leg in this instance, out to a 45-degree angle. We're going to keep that 45-degree angle as we kick forward and back. And again, if you're struggling with balance, let that toe rest to the floor behind you at the back each time. And if you're comfortable, bring that in to a steady flow of a kick. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. From there, transfer over to the opposite side of the mat. Root the foot down into the mat once more. Pull the arch of the foot off the mat. From there, kicking forward and back again. And again, if we need to make it easier, toe to the ground at the back. We're trying to hold the body steady here from the hips up. So think about that connection once more through that pelvic floor. Hold the connection strong. It's going to help you with your balance. And again, if you're losing balance, take a second to regain it and back into your leg swings once more. Excellent. From there, place the outside foot to the ground. Turn that outside foot, this left foot in this instance, out to 45 degrees. Keep that 45-degree angle on our kick. Moving forward and back. And again, foot to the ground, the back to regain balance if you need to, and just go with a single leg kick. Keep that foot turned out at 45 degrees though. Lovely. From there, guys, back into the middle of our mat again. I'll demo this next one from the side. Feet at hip width apart once more. Push the feet into the ground. Draw the arches off the mat. Think about that pelvic floor connection again. So pubic bone to tailbone. Pull ourselves up from the ground. Head pulled up towards the roof. Head in a nice neutral position, looking straight ahead. From there, allow the upper body to fall towards the feet. Let the body hang towards the feet. 3 steps out the mat again. 1, 2, and 3. Bringing ourselves into our high plank position. From the back of the head to the heels with a straight line through the body. Pelvic floor connected again. Belly button pulled up towards the spine. We're going to lower ourselves to the mat, guys. If the last time was too difficult, lower the knees first and then lower the body second. Point the toes back behind you. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling out, pushing the hands into the ground. Keep the hips on the mat. Allow the chest to face forward. So heart center facing straight ahead. Inhale, bring the chest back to the mat. Turn the toes up into the mat, and through the next exhale, sitting back onto the heels, drop the head and chest down between the arms. And hold for a breath. From there, lifting the bum up off the heels, lifting the knees up off the mat, pelvic floor engaged again in a nice strong high plank. From there, sit the hips up high, push the heels back in towards the ground. And every time you take an exhale, allow the body to relax more into the pose. Hips staying high and heels driving to the floor. High plank position once more. Hold pelvic floor strong. And from there, we're just going to tuck the right knee and left knee in underneath the hips. Positioning ourselves into quadruped position here, guys. So knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. I will demo this one from the front and from the side for you to have an eye on me. Again, you're not changing your position. Whatever way you're facing, you're going to keep that consistent. If you see me moving, it's just to give you a visual from the front and from the side. Throughout this move, guys, if we're feeling that our hands are under, or our wrists are under a bit of pressure, we can roll up the top of our mat. Place our palms on the mat and our fingertips on the ground. Just takes a little bit of an angle out of the wrist. So you can do that if it's more comfortable for you. You can move out of the position at any time if it's more comfortable for you, just to take yourself out of it for a rest. So again, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. From here, we're just going to flex and extend the spine. So think about tucking that chin in towards the tailbone, in towards the belt buckle, rounding up that upper back, pushing the hands into the floor. From there, bring heart center forward, sit the hips back, let the head lift up and look straight ahead. Exhaling, pushing the hands into the ground once more. Inhaling, sitting the hips back, lifting the chest to face forward, looking straight ahead. As you move between these two positions, guys, try and synchronize your movements with your breath. Exhaling, tucking the chin to belt buckle. Inhaling, moving it away. So you're moving at your own speed here. Synchronize your movements in with your breath. Exhaling, moving one direction. Inhaling, moving the opposite direction. And as you move, notice the range of motion that you have. And in a second, we're going to position ourselves halfway between these 2 points. So when you're ready, find that neutral position once more, halfway between the 2 points. Finding ourselves now with a nice straight line from the hips up to the back of the head. From here, guys, holding equal weight through each hand and each leg. So think about our weight distribution here. Think about that pelvic floor connection again. Hold the belly button back towards the spine. Engage that pelvic floor. From here, we're going to go into a leg extension. So we're going to bring one leg back at a time. As we exhale and as we inhale, we'll bring the leg back in. Don't feel like you have to kick all the way back to the wall behind you. I want your focus here to be on trying not to move anything except the leg that's moving. So focus on the parts of your body that aren't moving as opposed to what is moving. So we take that second. Exhaling out, bringing left or right leg back behind you. Inhale, bring it back in. Exhale, moving the opposite leg. Inhale, bringing back in. And as we move from right to left leg, guys, notice what's moving and what isn't moving. I want you to bring the focus of attention to the points of your body that aren't supposed to be moving and focus on holding them as steady as you can. Focus on the weight distribution between your right and left hand. As you bring the leg back, does the weight shift over onto one hand more than the other? If it does, it's an indicator for us to make the move a little bit easier. We can widen our knees slightly and our hands slightly to make it a little bit easier. We can choose to slide the foot back the mat to make it a bit easier. So finding your level. Don't feel that you have to kick all the way back. The focus here is not on what we do with our legs, but on what we do with the rest of our body as we extend the leg. Can we hold that connection strong through the pelvic floor? Again, movement completely synchronized with the breath. Inhale, bring the leg back to start position. Exhale, leg in. Making sure our breath remains relaxed. So in through the nose, out through the mouth or nose. If we're exhaling out through the mouth, make sure that it's a relaxed out breath each time. If we need to take pressure off our hands at any time, we can. I'll just tend to let the moves run and you can fall in and out as you wish. Making sure quality remains the most important thing. Good. Think of the weight distribution now between right hand and left hand. We want to keep equal weight through both palms. Good stuff, guys. From there, bringing the toes together, sitting back onto the heels, bring the sitting bones back towards the heels. Sit up nice and tall in our posture. Good. From here, we're going to transition to a seated position. So, placing the hands back down on the mat once more. From there, you're going to bring your right knee up in between your two hands. From there, you're going to sit down onto the right side. And from here, we're just going to swing around that left foot to cross the feet over. And whatever way we've chosen to cross our legs, guys, just going to get you to cross over the opposite way. Okay, from this position, let's bring our focus of attention back to our breath, resting the hands on the knees. And again, bringing focus attention back to our pelvic floor, our posture, and our connection. 3 or 4 seconds inhale. 3 or 4 seconds exhale. A nice relaxed breath. Just going to change my position here, guys, as you sit forward. I want you to imagine now you're sitting back against a wall. And if you were sitting back against the wall, think of the points of contact that you would have with the wall. We're looking for tailbone, shoulder blades, and the back of our head. So stay nice and tall in our posture. So a stacked spine position is what we're looking for. And let's use that pelvic floor connection. We talked at the beginning of the class about pulling ourselves up towards the ceiling. So let that connection pull you up towards the ceiling. Think about that gentle internal squeeze, pubic bone to tailbone, pulling up toward the ceiling. Feel the connection move through your midsection, pulling your ribs higher to the ceiling. From here, guys, we're going to go into a mermaid stretch. So again, thinking about that stacked spine position, I'm just going to change my position again so you can see. From here, we're going to place that left hand on the mat. I'm mirrored to you, so I'll be using my right, but it'll be, as you look, it'll be on your left. So your left hand on the ground. Bring the right hand up to the ceiling. Hold nice and tall in the seated position. From here, I want you to walk the hand away And as you walk the hand away, start to bring that right hand long towards the wall. Now keep it long and curved, trying to let the hand droop. Gently walk the hand back, gently sit tall once more. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale out, long deep exhale, walk the hand away, reaching up and over. And with that right hip, push the right hip down as the left hand reaches around. So we're creating length through that right hand side of the body. Good. Walking that hand back and placing opposite hand on the floor. Hand up towards the ceiling. Gently walk the hand away. As you walk the hand away, begin to lean long on that side of the body. From hand to hip, we're creating a nice long arch or a long curve. Relax the breath. Reaching the hand long, driving the hip down. Walk the hand back up into a strong position. Seated tall. Deep breath in. Again, as you exhale out, walk that hand away. Reaching long, curving, making that side of the body as long as possible. Walk the hand back. Regain that tall seated position. And bringing hands back onto the knees. Connect to the pelvic floor again. Pull yourself ever so slightly higher and taller in that seated position. From there, placing hands on the mat in front of the legs. Gently walk the hands forward. Let the head relax down. Let the body melt towards the floor. Taking a breath. From there, walking the hands back. Restack the spine again. Pelvic floor pulling you up towards the ceiling. From there, bringing right hand in front of right shoulder, left hand in front of left shoulder. And we're going to cross right to left and left to right, keeping the elbows nice and high. Here again, guys, we're going to completely synchronize our movements with our breath. So as we exhale, we're going to rotate to the right. As we inhale, we return to center. And as we finish our inhale again, we rotate to the opposite side. So beginning, inhale. Rotating to the right. Long delayed exhale. Inhale, bring yourself back to the middle of the body. And as we start to exhale, moving to the opposite side. Inhale, bring back to center. Exhaling, rotating to the opposite side. So fully focused and connected to your breath, guys. So if you're moving a little bit quicker or slower than I am, that's totally okay. Just think about exhaling as you rotate around, inhaling, coming back through the center. Keep ourselves pulled towards the roof. Pelvic floor strong, keeping ourselves tall in our strong seated position. Excellent, guys. From there, we're going to relax the hands back down onto the knees. And from there, we're going to straighten the legs in front. Again, I'm just going to change my position here so you can see from the side. Once more, we come out of that slouch position. Think about this tall, stacked position. Push the backs of the knees to the mat. Turn the toes up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to go into a forward bend. We will bring right hand and left hand in front of shoulders once more. Now, in this position, I want you to imagine that your arms are resting across a table. And all we're going to do is we're going to lean and reach those hands across the table. So as we reach forward, we're going to focus on not dropping the hands. They're resting on a table, so they slide across the table. So as you exhale, the hands stay at the same height. As you inhale, restack the spine. Exhaling, reaching forward. Inhaling, coming back. Again, completely synchronizing your movements, guys, to your breath. So if you're moving a little bit quicker or slower than me, that's okay. I would encourage you to think 3 seconds inhale, 3 seconds exhale minimum. Any longer than that is okay. Trying to have it shorter than that and have ourselves moving in and out of position too quickly. Excellent. Restack the spine once more, guys. Good. From there, again, I'm just going to change my position so you can see. From there, guys, we're going to relax back down onto the back. So bringing that right knee into the chest. Interlocking the fingers around the right knee. Allow yourself to fall back to the ground. Gently relax down on the mat, making sure that we are fully on our mat. Head and feet. Again, if your mat is shorter, just make sure that your head is resting on the mat. From this position, guys, we're just going to once more flex and extend through the spine. So think about the movement we did at the start of the class. Think about the movement we did on all fours, where we were tucking our chin towards our belt buckle and then separating away. So all I want you to do here is keep your shoulders in contact with the ground. Keep your hips and tailbone in contact with the ground. And all I want you to do is imagine lifting that lower part of your back, that lumbar spine, off the mat. And then crushing it down to the mat. So we're lifting up and down, rotating through the hips, and exploring the range. From there, just bending the knees to 90 degrees, feet resting flat on the ground, and once more, flex and extend. And again, just notice the range you have between those tilts. And position yourself, guys, where you believe to be halfway similar to what we did earlier on. So again, a nice neutral spine. And in that neutral position, think about the pelvic floor connection once more. That powerhouse, we're switching it on, and we're using that as we go into our next few exercises. We want to really focus on that pelvic floor here, guys. So again, keep the connection strong. You'll hear me say it consistently throughout the next few exercises, pelvic floor switched on. Think about that connection, whatever it is for you, whatever way you usually have it activated. Let's reestablish the connection as much as we can. Holding that connection strong, I want you to bring right foot up to tabletop position, 90-degree bend through the knee positioned over hip, toe pointing away to the wall below you. Hold the connection strong, bringing the left foot up to join. Legs are mirrored at the exact same angle, and I want you to imagine resting a tray of drinks across your shins. So as you hold one leg steady at a time here, think about holding the leg at that 90-degree bend. So again, going back to it, focus on what is not moving here as opposed to what is moving. Exhaling, letting one leg fall towards the mat, away from the body. Inhale, bring that leg back in. You can allow your hands to rest on the mat here. Exhale, leg moves in. Inhale, leg comes back. And I want you to focus on, again, the parts that are not moving. So as we move one leg, focus on the other leg, keeping that as steady as possible. Hold the connection through the pelvic floor. So our two main points of focus here is on holding the parts of the body that aren't moving as steady as we can and holding that pelvic floor connected. Moving one leg at a time, so don't move the opposite leg until the other one joins back at the top again. If you need a rest at any time, guys, allow the feet to rest to the floor. But before we come back up, re-establish the connection to the pelvic floor before we bring one leg at a time back up into position. So you can rest here whenever you want. Take a break whenever you want. Just ensure quality is our main focus. Inhale, leg in. Exhale, leg out. Staying strong to that pelvic floor. And from there, we're going to rest the feet down to the ground. Good. As we progress through the moves here, guys, if they become too difficult at any time, you can regress back to the move that you just did, the one that you did, that you were happy that you did it well enough. sticking to your level at all times. I'm just going to make them a little bit more difficult for those of us who are used to it and are strong. So for the next exercise, on a demo first, you can watch me. That dead bug position, it's the exact same movement with our legs. This time our hands are going to be directly above our shoulders. And this time, as we straighten out one leg, we're going to lift ourselves up off the mat. And as we inhale back down, so exhale, leg goes long, shoulders come up. As we inhale, reset back to position again. When we're lifting ourselves off the ground, guys, try not to roll from the shoulders. Keep that chin away from the chest. Imagine initiating the movement from low on our sternum. So peeling from low on our body, resetting back down. Keeping that chin away from the chest. So we're lifting from that sternum, low on our sternum, on our breastbone, the middle of our body. Think about initiating the movement from low there. Let's go again. Okay, so again, pelvic floor connected. Bringing right leg up to tabletop position. Let the left leg join when you're ready. Resting here, guys, whenever you need to. Bringing hands over the shoulders. One leg moves and body follows. We'll go with the right leg first. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling, reaching forward with the right leg. Let the hands reach along with it. Inhale, bring ourselves back down for a mat. Exhale, left leg. Inhale, back down. And again, following your own breath here, guys, moving up and down. Whatever knee stays at 90 degrees. Focus on holding that knee as steady as you can as you move. If we need a rest, hold in that starting position and hold for a breath in recovery. Again, always ensure that you're not struggling through the moves, that you can do them well enough, and that you're pushing yourself on, but make sure technique is the main focus. Exhale, we lift up. Inhale, we lift down. 10 more seconds, guys. From there, bringing right foot back to the ground, bringing left foot back to the ground, relaxing the hands back down onto the ground. Just corrective rest here, guys. So take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And I'm moving on to the next move. So you can watch me demoing as you relax in recovery. For the next exercise, very similar again, just a slight variation. We continue to move the leg, but this time we are going to hold up with shoulders off the mat. When you need a rest, you can return those shoulders back down to the ground. If you want to continue your leg movements, you can. Or if you want to hold a full rest, you can. So the next move is going to be a dead bug with shoulders held off the ground. When you're ready, guys, once more, connect through that pelvic floor again. From there, bringing right foot up to tabletop position. Mirror the left leg to join. Bringing hands above the shoulders. Bringing focus of attention back to the breath. Think about lifting from low on your sternum. Initiate the movement from low down your t-shirt. So halfway down your t-shirt, think. From there, keep the legs stationary for now. Lift the shoulders up off the ground. Reach the fingertips long beyond the pockets. Keep the chin away from the chest. And from there, begin to exhale, extend leg long. Inhale, bring leg in. Completely synchronizing the movement of our legs with our breath. Only moving long when we exhale. Only inhaling or only coming back in as we inhale. Lifting shoulders high. Again, keep moving through it, guys, if you're comfortable. Anybody who needs a rest can return those shoulders back to the ground. I'm just going to take that rest just to ensure that my technique stays good. I'm going to hold those legs high. Feel free to continue to work if you're strong enough. Again, I'm going back to it again. I'm going to make sure that my technique is the main priority. And we've got 20 seconds left here, guys. 9 seconds. Take your time, following your breath. 3, 2, 1. Relax the feet back to the ground. Oh, definitely felt those. Okay, right guys, from here we're going to move into a side leg series. So from here, I'm going to get you to rotate and be facing the camera for this one. So if you have to change your mat here, you might need to change it so you're facing the camera front on. If you can see me from wherever you are, hold your mat where you are. All I'm concerned here, guys, is that you can see what I'm doing and you can follow my instruction as we go through the moves here, okay? So I'm just going to quickly change onto the opposite direction just so you can see the positioning of my body. So my head is resting down onto my arm. I am going to just come up onto the elbow for a second, actually, just so we can get our alignment right. Straight on our mat. I'm going to bend the knees to 90 degrees, and I'm going to make sure that my ankle bone is directly below my hip bone. I've got a 90-degree bend through my leg, so it's a right angle through my knees. From there, if we're happy, ankle below hip, hip below shoulder. If we're happy with that position, I'm going to get you to lie back down and relax down onto that arm. Change my position once more so you can see me again from the side. Okay. From here, guys, we're going to move into a clamshell. So just make sure the head is comfortable on the arm. Use that arm as a cushion. From here, we're going to get you to use your right or your left index finger, whatever side you're lying on. Top hand. Finding the bony part of your hip. With your index finger, I want you to place gently your index finger down onto the bony part of your hip. I want you to glue your feet together. So if you're in your feet, glue your feet together. If you're in your socks, glue your socks together. We're just going to here gently lift that top leg up off the bottom leg through an exhale. And then as you inhale, relax that leg back down. Exhale, lifting the leg up. Inhale, lifting the leg or relaxing the leg back down. Let the movement of your leg synchronize and match in with your breath. With that hand that's on the hip, feel how much movement is happening below that index finger. We want to make sure that there's no rotating going on, no unnecessary movement going on. So what we're trying to do is isolate the movement here and really work within the range of the hip. So I don't want you to, on all these exercises, guys, in the side leg series, I don't want you to feel like you have to lift the leg really high. I just want you to lift it to your own level. So limited movement you should feel under that index finger. If you're comfortable that you're doing it correctly, relax that palm back down on the ground and continue your clamshells. Following the breath. So that's our clamshell, guys. Again, we're not compensating here. We're only lifting and opening the hip to its limit. You'll feel it start to stop. When it gets that sticking point, just relax back down again. On the next rep, whenever that is, I want you to lift the top knee off the bottom knee. Now we're just going to add in a little rotation, so a little internal rotation of the hip here. Main focus of attention is on your your top knee. In my instance, it's my right knee. Whatever top knee is there, focus on that kneecap. And I want you to keep that knee at the exact same height at all times. So focus on keeping that knee at the same height, and I want you to lift the top foot off the bottom foot, keep the knee at the same height, and then relax the top foot back down onto the bottom foot. Relax the top knee to bottom knee. So we'll just call them top and bottom knees, top and bottom foot. Lift the top knee off the bottom knee. Feet are glued together. Once you get to your end range, hold that knee at the same height. Internally rotate. So we're lifting up that foot as high as we can, feeling that pinch. Drop the top foot to the bottom foot. Drop the top knee to the bottom knee. Lifting again, top knee off bottom knee. Top foot off bottom foot. Dropping foot down, dropping knee down. 2 to go. Knee off knee. Foot comes off foot. Hold the knee steady. Foot back down. Knee back down. 1 more to go. Knee off knee. Foot off foot. Hold in that position. Foot down, knee down. And all we're going to do there now, guys, is with that top leg, I want you to straighten it out. And when we straighten it out, let the leg rest down over the bottom foot. From here, pointing the toe away from the body, so point that toe eloquently down the mat. And from here, keeping the foot inside the width of the mat, I want you to lift the foot up and down. Focus here now on lifting that foot up through a narrow corridor or narrow channel. Think narrower than the width of the mat. So foot should not be moving forward or back. It just moves straight up and straight down, keeping it through a narrow gap, going up and down. Keep the toe pointing eloquently away. And again, not concerned here with how high the leg lifts, concerned with doing it properly. Exhaling, lifting the leg up, inhaling, dropping it back down again, moving up and down. From there, on the next rep, lift up that foot and hold it in position. Think now about the width of a mug, and I want you to rotate with your full leg, draw a circle around the width of the mug with your big toe. Feeling that pinch through the side of the leg, down through the hip, holding high. Rotate in the opposite direction, slow and controlled with the circles. The full leg draws the circle, not just the ankle. Excellent, we're feeling that now. I am anyways. From there, lifting up and down for 2 reps. Don't let the foot move further forward to the camera. Don't let it come further away. Keep it up and down through that narrow channel. From there, lift the leg up again and hold. From there, I want you to turn your foot towards the camera. We'll lower that leg back down. Instep of the foot touches the ground and stays parallel to the ground. So as you lift that foot up and down now for the next few reps, make sure that that foot does not turn towards the roof. Keep the foot pointing straight ahead at the camera. Instep of the foot is parallel to the floor. So think about lowering that foot, and as you lower the foot, all through the foot contacts the floor at the same time. As we lift up, we want to try and avoid turning that toe towards the roof. The toe is pointing at the camera. And we lift up and we hold. And hold for 10 seconds. Relax the breath. Lower that leg down and relax. Good, guys. So again, instead of turning around the opposite way and facing away from the camera, I might just get you to change as safely as you can, just over to the opposite side. Just stay facing the camera if you can. That way you can watch what I'm doing and just mirror what I'm doing. Up on our elbow again, guys, and again, see me from the side. Ankles to knee, to hip, to shoulder, straight line down the mat. Then we bend our knees to 90 degrees. Ankles to hips, to shoulder, now straight line down. Knees come in front slightly. Socks or feet glued together. And when you're ready, you can lower back down onto the ground, resting the head down onto the arm, cushioned on the arm. We'll start with our clamshells again, guys. So index finger resting on the top of the hip, bony part of the hip. Feet glued together. Exhaling, lifting knee up. Inhale, dropping knee down. Synchronizing the movement of the exercise with the breath. Exhale, open up. Inhale, down. It doesn't matter if you open a couple of inches off the bottom knee, guys. Try not to rotate here. So what we don't want people doing is rotating around to get extra range. You want to really work within your own range here. So no compensation. Be comfortable with the movement that you're doing, and just be comfortable with how your body is able to move here. A couple of seconds now, 1 or 2 more reps, guys, will add in that internal rotation. Good. From there, we'll hold that knee at the same height. Keep the knee at the same height, lifting top foot off bottom foot. Dropping foot down onto bottom foot, dropping knee onto bottom knee. Lifting top knee off bottom knee. Holding that knee at the same height. Focus on that part of the body. As we lift the bottom foot up, focus on what the knee is doing. We want to pivot off that knee. Drop back down, foot to foot, knee to knee. Lifting knee up. Hold for a second. Notice the height. It's that. Lift the foot, but hold the knee at the same height. Focus on what the knee is doing as we lift the foot up. Dropping the foot down. Dropping the knee down. 3 more. Knee off knee. Foot off foot. Foot comes back down. Knee comes back down. 2 to go. Knee comes up through the exhale. Lifting then, top foot off bottom foot. Foot comes down, knee comes down. Once more, lifting top knee off bottom knee. Hold that knee steady, lifting up the foot internally, rotating that hip, feeling it pinch the outside of the hip. Hold that position. Foot comes down, knee comes down. And again, guys, moving into our straight leg, side leg series now. So we'll straighten that top leg, and that top leg is going to rest over the top of the bottom foot. Point the toe away, point it down through the mat. Once more, think about the width of the mat. Think about narrower than the width of the mat. Lifting that leg up and down through a very narrow corridor. The foot is not getting any closer to the camera. It's going any further away to the screen, rather, my camera, your screen. So foot's not coming any closer to the screen. Foot is not going any further away from the screen. So it's going straight up and straight down. Sacrifice a bit of height in our leg lift here in order to get that alignment right. So again, our focus is on doing the move as well as we can, as opposed to doing it or lifting as high as we can. Two more reps, exhaling up, inhaling down. So it's 3 or 4 seconds up, 3 or 4 seconds down. Stay within the width of your mat, maybe narrower. Lifting that foot up again, hold that position. Again, the nasty one. Think about the width of that mug now, rotating around the width of the mug. Slow circles, control the circle. So we're drawing a nice smooth circle. The leg might start to shake and the circles might get a little bit wobbly. Hold in that position then, hold. Change the direction of the rotation, rotate the opposite way. Continue to relax the breath. Hold that position. We go down and up for 2 reps. Sacrifice the height for keeping the leg straight. Holding the leg up nice and high. Turning the foot towards the screen. Instep of the foot is parallel to the floor. Don't allow that toe to point up to the roof. Lowering up and down again. 3 or 4 seconds up, 3 or 4 seconds down. Exhale, moving up. Inhale, moving down. Two more reps, guys. Holding up nice and high. Keep the instep of the foot parallel to the floor. Toes pointing at the screen, not at the roof. Leg is long and held strong. Breath is relaxed. Gently lower that leg back to the mat and floor. And from there, guys, just gently roll yourself on to your back. Bend the knees to 90 degrees, feet resting flat on the floor. Rest the hands down by the side and bring focused attention back to your breath. 3 or 4 seconds inhale, 3 or 4 seconds exhale. From there, guys, straighten out the left leg, interlock the fingers around the right leg, and from there I want you to roll up into a seated position. From there, recross the legs over, again opening out those hips. And from there, just transferring through to all fours position, so rolling forward. If that's too difficult, just come around to an all fours position as safely as you can. Rolling back up into our standing position again, guys. We'll just start off by lengthening the right leg behind us, lengthening the left leg behind us, holding that pelvic floor strong and steady. Sitting the hips up into the air, pushing the heels back into the ground. Allow the head and chest to fall between the arms once more. From there, reposition to high plank position, lower the knees to the ground, lower the chest to the ground, point the toes back behind you, take a deep breath in. Exhaling out, pushing the hands into the ground, lifting up the chest off the floor, heart centered to face forward, keep the hips on the ground. Returning the chest back to the floor, turning the toes up into the ground and sitting the bum back onto the heels, dropping the head and chest down nice and low. Bum back off the heels, knees back off the ground. Once more, hold that position strong. Hands below shoulders, holding pelvic floor strong. Keep that connection activated. Hold the belly button up towards the spine. We'll take 2 big steps up through the middle part of our body, up through the center line, up on 1, 2, and let the body hang down towards the feet once more. Every time we take an exhale, let the body hang further towards the floor. From there, rolling the chin up into the chest, hands onto the legs, gently keep the chin tucked in and peel it up into a standing position. Bring yourself up into a stand, rolling the shoulder blades back and down, regaining that tall posture. Root the feet back into the floor, draw the arches off the ground. Activate that pelvic floor, head up nice and strong, pull the head towards the ceiling, and a nice neutral position. We'll take 2 breaths. Good stuff, guys. Thanks very much for joining us today. Thanks very much for joining the practice, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, if anyone left on, leave us a comment. Let us know how you got on. See you soon, guys. And as always, stay safe, look after each other. And if you get a chance to get out into that nice weather, definitely get yourself out into that weather and make the most of it while it is here. Thank you very much, guys. Look after yourself, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Thank you.